Hi again, everyone. Professor Gray here with you, and welcome back again. Time for our listening lab lecture. This is Unit 7 this week, housing. Let's get right into it. Which kind of house would you prefer? Oh, look at the pictures. Housing means any place to live, not only house, apartment, condo, house, whatever. Any place to live is known as housing. So I don't know what your favorite is. A large apartment in the suburbs. Suburb means sub, below, urban. So sort of next to a city. A suburb is connected to a city. Like Bucheon is a suburb of Seoul. Guri is a suburb of Seoul. Pundong, Ilsan, those are suburbs. Not Seoul, next to Seoul. Almost Seoul, connected to Seoul, suburb. Garage, of course, garage is where you park your car, like a room for parking a car indoors. Country here means countryside, shikol. The word country can mean nara or shikol. Here it means shikol, countryside or in the country, away from the city, rural areas. And a studio apartment in the city. This is like a one-room kind of thing, but we don't really use one room in English. We can say studio. A studio is one big room with bed and kitchen, everything, and then a bathroom. So it's one room plus bathroom that we call a studio or a studio apartment. All right, let's do it. Well, you can choose whichever one you like the best. I don't know. I like living in the city. And I have a small apartment in the city, not studio, but I think living in a city is fun because I like doing things in the city. Some people prefer the countryside because of the fresh air and less traffic and less noise. That's good too. But me, I like to live in the city. Number 1, people are talking about housing. What kind of house or apartment does each person need? Listen and circle the correct answer. Okay, go ahead, try section 1 and then come back and we'll review it. Number 1, a studio apartment. There's no point in getting a big house. Right, no point means there's no reason, it doesn't make sense. A. Number 2, B, a house with a yard. It doesn't make sense or it makes sense. If something makes sense, it's a good idea, right? There's a point. If it doesn't make sense, then it's a bad idea. There's no point. There's no reason. Number 3, an apartment in the city. Commuting. Commuting means traveling back and forth to work. People commute every day back and forth to work. If you live in a suburb, like say Pundong or Ilsan, and you commute to Seoul, you have to go to Seoul every day to your office, and then you come back home every night. That's called commuting. And you are a commuter. So the commute can be very long, maybe an hour or longer. Now the commute can be made by car, by bus, train, subway, doesn't matter. It's a commute. Doesn't matter how you go. When you go there and back to work, you are commuting. Number 4 is a house in the country, the countryside. Now, the woman says, I work out of my home. This is confusing. It doesn't mean away from her home. It means in her home. I work out of my home means I work inside my home. My work, usually online, comes out from my home. So the work I do comes from my home. I work out of my home. A, in the countryside. Nice job. Number 5, a large apartment. Yes, a large apartment and a good-sized. Good-sized means large. And number 6 is a small apartment near the airport, B. I forgot to mention that a high-rise is a tall apartment building. Okay, skyscrapers are usually tall business, commercial buildings. High-rise is usually residential. High-rise is apartment. Korea has many, many high-rise buildings, high-rise, tall apartment buildings for people to live in. Listen again. Check your answer. Part two, people are talking about where they live. What do the people dislike about each place? Okay, negative point. Everybody has a negative point about their apartment. What is the negative point? Let's listen. Answer number 1 through 6. Go ahead. Number 1, the problem is C, the size. Size. Not enough space. Not enough area. Not enough room for all of my stuff, all of my things, my belongings. We don't say stuffs. All of my stuff or all of my things, not all of my stuffs. Number 2, B, the condition. Yeah, it's falling apart. Falling apart, just no good anymore. Clothing is falling apart. Your computer is falling apart. When things get old, the quality goes down, down, down. It falls apart. The condition is very, very bad. The rug is stained, discolored. You spill coffee and there's a stain. You spill oil on your shirt, there's a stain. Number 3, the location is a problem. During rush hour, bad traffic, bad commute during rush hour. Rush hour is the bad traffic time. Usually early morning, everybody going to work, bad traffic. Early evening, everybody coming home from work, bad traffic. We call that rush hour. Number 4, the rent, it's too much, too expensive. I can't afford it. I cannot afford means it's too expensive. I cannot pay. Oh, that's a beautiful car. I'd love that car, but it's too expensive. I can't afford it. Number 5, the condition, again, is a problem. Ancient. The stove is ancient, very, very old. Ancient means really old, too old. Appliances are things you use in a house, usually electric, like a refrigerator, oven, microwave oven, washing machine, dryer. Sometimes people have a dryer. Those are appliances, things that you use, usually electric appliances. A coat is like a paint. A coat of paint is a cover, a layer of paint, right? You put on your coat to cover you. You put on a coat of paint to cover the wall, for example. And number 6 is the neighbors. The neighbors, A, very, very annoying. When something bothers you, upsets you, it's annoying. Not makes you angry. Angry is much higher. Not angry, but just bothered, a little bit upset. It's like, that's annoying. Okay, that level. Enough to make you upset. The neighbors are annoying. Sometimes that can happen. Listen again. Check your answers, and then also do task 2. What do people like? There's a negative point and a positive point. Task 2, what is the positive point? What do they like about each place? Go ahead, listen again. Number 1, the neighbors are fantastic. E. Number 2, it's convenient for shopping. The location is good. It's just the condition is not so good. Old, deteriorating. Falling apart means deteriorating, getting in worse and worse condition. Number 3 is D. It's nice and quiet on the weekends. Yeah, but the problem is the commute, right? The problem is getting there in rush hour. Okay, D. Number 4, F. Perfect location, but too expensive. I can't afford it. Number 5, A. It's huge. The size is great, huge, but again, poor condition, falling apart. Big, old apartment. And number 6 is B. Cheap rent. That's always good, but the neighbors are annoying. That's not so good. Number 6 is B. Listen again. All right. Task 3, or part 3, I should say. Listening part 3. People are talking about why they moved to different places. Does the information in the chart describe their old place or their new place? Okay. Everybody will talk about two places: the old place where they used to live and the new place where they moved to, the new place where they live now. Check the information. Listen, is it about the old place or the new place? Go ahead, listen. Number one, the old place. Look at the picture upstairs. Loud neighbors. They're messy. They listen to loud music. Oh, now we live in a new place with quiet neighbors. Old place, loud neighbors. New place, quiet neighbors. Number two, the old place had traffic noise. The new place, high floor. You can't hear the traffic. It's way up there. No noise at all. New place, no noise at all. Number three, wow, our old place, we had a wonderful landlady, Jipjuin Yoja. Remember, landlady is woman, landlord, L-O-R-D, landlord is man. She was a wonderful landlady, but we wanted to be closer to a good school. New place, close to a good school. Number four, no pets allowed is an old place. The thing was means the problem. The problem was I couldn't have a pet. Now my new place, I live near a park. I can go with my pet in the park. Number five, great stove in the new place. The old place had a small dining room. She likes parties. Well, he liked to host parties, so a small dining room was no good. Old place had a small dining room. The new place has a great stove for cooking and hosting parties. Number six, the old place was too expensive. We had a front yard, a backyard. She said very expensive to maintain. To maintain is to take care of. Maintenance means to fix things, take care of them. The new place, a lot cheaper, no yard. Now, listen again and check task 2. What kind of place do they live in now? So focus on now. Focus on the new place. Which one describes the new place? Go ahead. Number one, a house in the suburbs, B. Now we live in a house in the suburbs and we have quiet neighbors. Number two, B, no traffic noise at all. B, an apartment on a high floor. 3B, an apartment in the suburbs, close to a good school. The landlady, by the way, she said they would get it fixed. To get it fixed means to have somebody fix it. Oh, our toilet's not working. Call the landlady, she would get it fixed. She would call the plumber, hey, come fix this. He would fix it. She would get it fixed by the plumber. Number 4, a building near a park and bring the animal to the park. Number 5, an apartment with a huge kitchen and a great stove. C. Number 6, an apartment with no yard. A, much cheaper, much easier to take care of, much easier to maintain. Listen again one more time. Check everything. Okay, if you have any questions, as always, please ask. Finish the work. Let me know in your email that you did all of the listening lab. Dictation, final thing. Listen to the conversation, write down the missing words. Listen twice. Listen twice to this conversation, fill in the blanks, and then come back. Oh, I love it. My neighbors are really friendly. My neighbors, with an S, plural, are really friendly. Neighbors are really. And the landlord is nice. The landlord, the man. Landlady, woman. Landlord, man. That's great. What's the building like? The building is 10 stories high. The, capital T. No capital? Wrong. The building is 10 stories, 10 floors, right? 10 floors high, 10 stories high. And the last one, my next door neighbor, the person literally in the next door, next to you, invited me over for coffee the other day. She and her husband are doctors. She and her husband are, A-R-E, doctors, S. So, my neighbors are really friendly. The, capital T, the building is 10 stories high. She and her husband are doctors. Listen again and check. All right, everyone, good work. That's all for Unit 7. Next week, we will do Unit 8. Be sure you're ready. Be sure to review what we learned. It's very important to review everything so you're ready for the final exam. We will have a listening final exam before we have our regular final exam. I'll let you know more about that later. That's all for listening. See you next week, everyone. Bye-bye.